guys for stopping by the Obviously Authentic channel. My name's Leah, that's spelled L-E-A and not L-E-A-H. And we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine. If I had to rate this episode, I would probably give it like a 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. So it was like high F average. You know, the extra 0.5 is because of Heavenly versus Quad at the end. But the episode the episode ends, continues where it left off last episode, where the ladies had left Lisa, Nicole, and Carrie at the house because they was taking too long, and they're waiting for them. They're all reading their menus, trying to figure out what they want to get. And Heavenly says she wants to get deviled eggs. So then Toya said, "Girl, don't do that." And now she mainly said that is because everyone calls Heavenly Devilly instead of Heavenly. It's kind of corny, but we get it. And then Anila was like, "What did you say?" And Toya told her to shut up, but the way she did it was very demeaning and it was rude. And I was just kind of like, I get that you're upset that she didn't pay the makeup artist, and you also feeling like it makes you look bad, but that's no need to be that rude. There's no need for Toya to be that rude to her friend, especially if that is her friend. Like, she need to check that, because that wasn't, like, you don't tell no grown woman to shut up. Like, you just don't do that. So then Dr. Jackie was like, Anil is trying to tell Toya she's not your little sister. And then Toya was like, I know she's not my little sister because she would have been quicker on the uptake. I was like, girl, so now you calling her dumb, and you just had last episode, you was just upset about them calling you stupid. I was just like, girl, chill out. So then Heavenly chimes in and she's like, no, she's more like her Muppet. Technically trying to say she's her puppet, but she called her a Muppet and said that she kind of looked like a Muppet, when I don't think Anila looks like a Muppet. And also, I don't think Heavenly can talk about anybody's facial features, when last season she looked, not even last season, her first season, she looked delayed and ran through. So, and like everyone always said she was like an alcoholic, and that's why she always looked washed in the face. So she need to, don't talk about nobody's looks. Plus, we need to talk about that wig. So, that wig is a mess. But Anila says, oh, so we calling each other's names now because you wouldn't like it if I called you Miss Piggy. Simone was done. She was done. Like, the way she cackled, I was like, it made the situation even more funny because of the way she screamed. Because I was like, because I think it was just the fact that they were caught off guard, that Anila swept in and said that to Heavenly, like she not scared. And I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, Heavenly's hair is aggravating me. It aggravated me through this whole entire episode. For her to have so much money, and even like I said last episode, she's opened up a beauty supply store, which I think is wonderful and it's great. It's just, it's weird to me that her hair is not done correctly. Like, I think I looked at that, what's it called? I looked at her hair more in this episode when they were arguing, is because it's leave out. And I don't know why her leave out is not blended. And I don't know if she's trying to go for this new look that I've been seeing in like synthetic wigs and even in human hair wigs that I don't like, where it's like people are only putting like color, like the different color here. And like I've seen it, if you type in like Zuri Sis, that's a really good synthetic wig company. They had a line of wigs where they had like the peekaboo strand with, and that's the thing, if it's supposed to be peekaboo, it's only so you're not supposed to be able to tell that it's there unless like you brush your hair and they see it, but it's like right here and it doesn't match Heavenly's wig. And I don't get it, because it's like you make enough money where you could get a decent human hair wig. Even if you want to do leave out, so you like maintain your edges and stuff, you can still get a good unit to like suck all of that in. And I don't get it. And I hate that wig. And I want her to throw it in the garbage. And then I want her to set the garbage on fire, because I hate her hair. Ugh, it just doesn't look right. It don't, like, you can't, like she said last episode, you can't be talking trash. When Funky Donegan was on there, when she was like, you can't be talking trash and your teeth jacked up. You can't be talking Cash Money-ish when your hair ain't right. No. But I'm going to let it go. So Giselle and Robin show up, and you know they're from Real Housewives of Potomac. Side note, I'm excited for this new season because I feel like it's gonna go back to being like goofy and funny, which that's what I miss about Potomac because it got dark last season. So I'm excited for that. And then Jamal, or Pastor Jamal, was at with the guys. So it was cute. I thought it was cute with the dudes when we had Damon and Eugene sharing stories about Toya and Heavenly. And Eugene was saying how Toya was opened up his eyes to new things, but he didn't preference it to like, oh, she opened me up to new restaurants, new experience, such as like, you know, hiking or stuff. So it automatically made everyone be like, oh, what y'all doing? Like, made it sexual. And then you have Damon who said when he saw Heavenly in college, he was taken back by her and he knew she was special. But he was like, and they were like, oh, so you knew you wanted to marry her? He was like, nah, I not that, but I just knew she was special and I liked that about her. And I was like, oh, that's sweet that he saw her and was like, okay, that's what I want, you know? So back over to the women. The ladies are there. Like I said, Robin and Giselle are there and they're sitting and they're talking, and they referred to Jamal as Giselle's husband, and they were talking about how he made the really good speech. Even though I don't see it for Pastor Jamal Bryant, I did see clips of his speech, and I thought he did a wonderful job with his speech. Like, the speech was a very good and powerful speech. So, like, if you look past all of his transgressions with how he be sleeping with all them women in the church, he when he talks, he pulls you in. And that's what it takes to be a good pastor and a good speaker, is you being able to draw people in, and he can do that. And I saw clips of the speech, and I thought it was really a good speech. But they referred to him as Giselle's husband, and Giselle was like, no. He was like, he's my ex-husband. They don't know what they doing, basically. And then you have Robin, and Robin was like, yeah, me and Robin said, no, I'm engaged, but like, you know, we got a divorce. We've been together, but now we're going to get back together. And everybody was like talking about it and saying how, like, you know, marriage can be a difficult relationship. And then all of a sudden, Contessa brings up cheating and Scott having a midlife crisis. So she asked, because Lisa Nicole said her husband went through a midlife crisis. And so, like, what's her name? Contessa popped over and was like, yeah, like, Scott's about to be 50. And Scott looked good to be 50. I thought Scott was like in his 40s. So he looks really good. And like, everyone's like, oh, so is Scott, like, Giselle even asked, like, is Scott cheating? And she was like, I don't know what no one's doing. And I was like, Contessa, then why bring it up? Y'all know I don't see it for that lady. But like, I don't think it's right for anyone to cheat on some way and break their trust in that way. So if he is cheating, then they need to figure that out or dissolve their relationship and move on and move forward. But my thing is, like, don't bring something up like that when all the ladies at the table are married and like they take this, like, their marriages very seriously. Like, they're gonna want to know, because then they flash over to the green screens and you see Heavenly's like, I didn't know they had issues. Simone is like, oh, something is going on over there. And even Dr. Jackie was like, yeah, like, this doesn't make sense, because she keeps like alluding to it. And then she was saying how, like, he's not as nice or as respectful as he used to be and all of this yada yada stuff. And I was just like, so is he cheating? Is he not cheating? Or do you think he's cheating? And I'm going with maybe she thinks he's cheating. But also, are you cheating, Contessa? Because normally when people are that in, like, thinking that someone else is doing something, they're the ones doing something. It happens like that. I hope neither one of them are cheating on each other. I hope they have enough respect for one another to be like, I'm tired of this. Like, we just need to dissolve this marriage and move forward. But it was just weird the way she brought it up, because it's like, do you think he's cheating? And she was like, I hope he's not. So I was like, so do you, so to me, I'm like, then why bring it up when you're not going to give context to what the situation is or was for you? That's weird to me. That's just really weird to me. So then she also brings up how she was like, most marriages don't really break up when someone cheats. You know, it's other things. Sometimes even cheating brings y'all together and all of that stuff. And I'm like, so is the man cheating on you or nah, lady? Like, don't bring it up if you're not going to explain it. So it's the next day and they all packing up to leave. And like, the ladies are talking. So Simone and Cecil are talking. And so, side note, Cecil looks so much better with like hair, like more hair. I think he looks way more attractive with hair. But he was talking and he was saying, and like Simone was telling them what was happening. Oh, I didn't get to mention that Toya at the dinner shared that like shared some like part of like her situation where she was like, Eugene, when we learned about Eugene having low testosterone, and she called it menopause, and she was like, maybe that's what Scott is going through. Just so like trying to share information, which I thought was nice of Toya to share, even though like she don't like her and they don't like each other, but I guess she doesn't want to see them break up either. So yeah. So we go back to the next day and everybody's packing up to leave and all of that stuff. And like we see Simone and Cecil talking, and Cecil was like, they on some corny stuff, like they wearing shirts. One shirt said LO, and then Contessa had on the VE, and he was like, but they got this much going on, that's kind of corny. But he was like, I don't want to be in it, but maybe he's not doing what he said he was going to do last year, because they also flashed back to last year when they were like saying, like Scott was saying, she didn't want Contessa to resent him and things of that nature. And then we go downstairs, everybody eating breakfast. Side note, Toya's body looks great. I guess tennis is doing her right, but she looks great. She looks really good. So it's the next day. We're back in Georgia, and everybody's settling back in. We see Jackie with a patient. We see Simone arguing with, like, play fighting with her receptionist staff, and then we see I don't know if we saw Contessa. Yeah, we see Contessa with her kids. Her hair looks so much better in this picture, this little excerpt or whatever, when she was like kissing on her kids, telling them like how much she loved them. I don't get why her hair does not look like that in the confessional. Like that, the hairstyle that she has, like when she was with her kids, looks so much better on her. It makes her look way more prettier. Like with the braids, and then she got the weave at the, like the weave ponytail, like she looks way more prettier. I was like, girl, whoever put that wig on you in that confessional, fire them and kick their ass, because they did you a disservice, because you're not an ugly woman. You are a very pretty lady. Like all the ladies on the cast are very pretty people. So I don't they wigs, y'all. But what, oh, I can get Toya. So we can get Toya and what's her name? Heavenly out the way. So Heavenly, well, no, I'll talk about Toya and Anila first. So Anila and Toya have their kids in the car, and they're going to carpool, and they're trying to figure out like who's going to pick the kids up in the morning, who's going to pick the kids up in the afternoon. And once they drop off the kids, they start talking about finances. I kind of felt like Toya is not the one to have this conversation, but then again, she kind of is and she kind of isn't, in the sense of Toya had money problems, so she can tell Anila like, yo, this is what you're doing, this is what you're not doing, this is what is causing strain on your marriage. And then it's kind of like, Toya, shut up, because we don't even know if your finances are all together. But what Toya was saying was that you need to pay people, because I guess she still hasn't paid the makeup artist, which doesn't make sense to me, because makeup is a one-time, like you can't keep makeup on your face all day. So why didn't you just pay them? Like, there's so many ways to pay people, so I don't get why she hasn't paid them. Like, she needs to pay them people. And then, like, she was talking about how, like, I guess most of the clothes that she gets from blogging is, like, free. Like, and normally it is, because people want you to advertise their outfits. And then Toya was like, maybe you need to let Miss, I think her name's like Miss Gomez or Miss Gonzalez, the nice Hispanic nanny we saw in the beginning of the season at Anila's home. And really, I feel like she's more of a assistant than a nanny. But my thing is like, why, to me, you don't need a nanny. I got what Toya was saying, like she enjoys driving her kids to school, they listen to gospel music, she feeds into them, and she was like, nobody can do it like I do it, which is true because they're your kids. But then Anila was like, oh, she lets Miss Gonzalez do it, and Toya was kind of like, But if she's an extra expense that you don't need, then you might need to let her go. And she was like, I'm not going to let her go, which is understandable. But it's just kind of like, they also showed us a flashback of them like talking, like I think it said 2 weeks ago, where she was like, Kieran is upset with all the overspending and he's kind of taking out his frustrations on Anila. And I was kind of like, well, you're overspending. Like, he's allowed to be upset with you if y'all had a set budget. Plus, y'all aren't even in the house, and the square footage of y'all house is too big for 4 people. Like, it's a decent size. Like, the house is nice. The house is probably gonna be really nice, but for 4 people, it's a bit much. And if y'all don't have the means to pay for it, then you're spending money where you don't need to spend money, and that's stupid. So then we go over to Heavenly's family. You know, they're about to have family dinner, and they're talking, and Damon shares a story about how he knocked over a sign, and like, I guess it was like mall security, or the security of the place was like telling him he needed to come back and I guess pick it up. And then they got into a scuffle, and then they called the police, and the police actually pulled out a gun on him. And like, you know, a common story amongst like minorities when it comes to the police. And like, the kids got visibly like shook. Like, I don't know about baby girl, I can't think of her name, Alora. I think Alora was like, oh, okay, like she understood it. Even though the youngest son, Zachary, was like, like those two seem like they think things through. But Damien Jr. is a little off, y'all. And I'm not trying to make a dig or anything, but like the way he was eating made my stomach turn. Because for you to be 22 years old and your mama gotta wipe your mouth because you just like piling food in, that is gross to me. That is not attractive in no way. And plus, he was getting an attitude, and like they even said in the green screen, Damon said that like Zachary is a lot chiller and he thinks things through, whereas Damien is what he used to be, where he's very hot-headed and like quick to react. But I was just like, get his eating skills together. Like, he was just I have a thing about people eating. That's why I can't really do mukbangs and I can't do ASMR. Like, when people are like smacking or it makes my skin crawl and it makes me very uncomfortable because it's just nasty. But let's get over to the end of the episode. So we have Simone. Oh no, Contessa and Regine. So Miss Regine, they're at the new office and it looks really nice. Side note, I just don't think Contessa and Scott should be working together. Like, y'all already kind of ain't seeing it for each other. Maybe y'all being apart is a positive thing and would probably help y'all relationship way more. But Miss Regine is known for like keeping businesses together. And I guess Scott is worried about how much money they're spending because he likes to cut corners and like save, where Contessa is like, in order for things to get done, I have to do them, which is very passive aggressive and very condescending to your husband, who is also supposed to be your partner in business. Like, if you don't trust him or don't feel like he's gonna really be there for you, why would you go into business with him? That to me is stupid as fuck. It's stupid. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like them going into business is horrible. She even like showed us that she told us about how they used to work together in their last job, and they would ride in the car and like they would have knockdown, drag out fights to the point where like, and then they would walk into the office like nothing happened. And she was like, I think I'm good at compartmentalizing, but then she got ulcers. And I'm like, why do y'all like working together? Like, people, I mean, work is supposed to also be like an escape, kind of. That's why it's important for people to have jobs that they enjoy, because you spend most of your day at work. You spend probably 8, maybe between 7 to 9 hours at work every day. Why would you constantly go somewhere where y'all are like constantly at odds? And now y'all are moving into doing this work together, and I think that's dumb. I also think the only reason why Contessa wants them to work together is because she likes the optics of what it looks like. We're clearly seeing that they like the optics of what it looks like for them to be in love. I really think Contessa and Scott like the optics of like 2 black doctors who are husband and wife running a practice together, because there's no other reason why they are together, why they would want to be together working when they are out there at odds and you think your man cheating. That's stupid. So then we have Dr. Jackie's like friendship bonding thing. So excuse me, y'all. So we have Quad, Anila, Heavenly, Simone, and Jackie. Jackie's house is beautiful. I wrote down the number. She spent $425,000 remodeling her home, and she did a good job. It was also a really sweet moment when Simone came in, and like her face, like it looked like a happy face. Like she was really happy for Jackie. She was like, "This is amazing." Like she was proud of her friend, and I like that moment between them. But Heavenly invited Anila. Y'all, my throat is dry. Heavenly invited Anila because she says she thinks she's different from Toya, possibly. So Quad came in bearing gifts. She gave Simone Ciroc, and she gave full sizes, half full sizes. It looked like a half full size of Ciroc, like a miniature one, not like a mini one, like the little ones you get at the counter at the ABC store, but like a decent size bottle of Ciroc. She gave Heavenly Crown Royal, and it looked like the real Crown, like a real full-size Crown Royal, because it even had the little velvet bag. And then she gave what's her name? She gave what's her name? Oh, she gave Jackie alkaline water, because Jackie don't be doing all of that stuff. The food looked good. Jackie's home looked beautiful. So then the ladies sit down. Quad was being shady off the rip for no reason. I guess she didn't like the food that was given, because Jackie only gave them like chicken and broccoli. But like Jackie said, Jackie liked chicken. My mama loved chicken. Like if she could have chicken every day, she would eat chicken every day. So I feel like the food looked good. Like I heard they even had chicken salad, deviled eggs, which I would love to try. He even had like what's it called? Shrimp cocktails, but I guess a different, because I saw like other stuff on the little skewer. So like the spread that Jackie did was a good spread. Like the chef did a good job. He did a really good job. So I was like, I didn't understand why Quad was being that way. And the whole time she was talking, all I could think about was Quad the Fraud from Mariah. And I was like, girl, that's when people want to call you Quad the Fraud, because you shading somebody who hasn't shaded you. Like she invited you to your home. Eat what you got, because then Quad is like, when I invite these ladies, I give them gourmet meals like steak, what she did, I think she said crab macaroni and cheese. Crab macaroni and cheese is fire. It is fire. It is delicious. And I'm like, girl, shut up. Like, you getting good food. Like, chill out. You getting real good food. Chill. So then the whole beef that was up between Heavenly and Quad comes up. So I remember when this happened, and I was taken back by how aggressive Quad was with Heavenly, because they showed a montage of their friendship, and Heavenly was really hurt. And my thing was, when I saw it, it didn't look, I got where Heavenly was coming from, and I'm not even her friend. I saw the emoji and I was like, ooh, it was like ooh, maybe if Heavenly would have been like, okay, with the hand emoji, because it was really the emoji where it was like. And I was like, okay, maybe Heavenly should have put behind it, okay, girl, oh my goodness. You look good, but I was just like, it didn't look like it stank. Because Quad said it was like a nose up emoji, but I was like, I don't even think there's a smelly, nose up emoji. I really don't. And Quad was trying to say, the Android changes it, but I was like, even when I had an Android, that was not an emoji. But Quad took ownership of what she said because she said she misread it. But I was like, even if you misread it, why would you go in so hard on someone that you claim to be really good friends with? And then they got real nasty with each other. Like, Heavenly was like, watch your tone. And I think Heavenly ignited it because to me, Quad really didn't have a tone. She was being dramatic, but that's Quad. Like, we've had all these 8 seasons of Quad being dramatic. So that's her. So I don't understand why Heavenly was like, watch your effing tone with me, and called her a B word. And I was like, it wasn't no need to call her that, but then I could understand, like, because Simone even chimed in, was like, you're really hurt. Like, Heavenly was really hurt, so I think that's why she was so angry. But then you had, then Heavenly was like, own your stuff, because she was just like, you can't push it off on me. And then Quad started calling Heavenly a B word, a hoe. They called each other mother effers. And then Jackie and Simone was like, well, maybe we need to take it a break. Then Neela was trying to chime in. And I was like, girl, sit back and eat your food and be quiet, because you're not even a friends like that. Like, hush. Hush. You are a +1. Keep it mute. Keep it cute. And then, I don't know. Then they just made up. Once they both, like, once Quad apologized and was like, you know what? I was wrong for what I did. And then she was like, but why would you call my butt fake? Quad, your butt is fake. Quad, if you look at previous pictures, your behind was not that round. And like they said, there's nothing wrong with a fake booty. Your booty look good. It's a nice butt. But like you got some enhancements, and there ain't nothing wrong with enhancements. Like, especially if they're good enhancements. It's not like you got an ant booty. You got a booty that match your thighs. You went to a really good doctor. So cut all that out. We know your booty fake. And don't nobody care that it was fake. You just came at Heavenly sideways, and it was wrong, because Heavenly wasn't even coming at you. When they were talking about it on the plane, even Eugene said he thought you was just being funny. If the men can see, like, oh, you was just being funny, then I feel like everybody else can see that, like, she was just being funny. Like, you know Heavenly enough to know that Heavenly, if she wants to, will leave you a messed up comment if she feels the need to. And she didn't feel the need to. She was trying to big up you. But, like, I don't get how you got that angry at her and you're supposed to be her friend. So it was just out of place and out of pocket. I mean, I'm glad they made up. But, like, the whole going back and forth, to me, showed that they're not really as close as they say they are. Because I've even had disagreements with friends, but I've never hopped to calling them a B or a hoe or a mother effer while we arguing, unless I don't want to be friends with you no more and I just want to disrespect you. But if I still want to be friends and I want a reconciliation or reconcile with you, then I'm going to be as respectful as I can be, especially if you're giving me the same amount of respect. So something about their relationship is wonky. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Have a good day, a good night, a good week. Whenever you see this, I hope you're having a good day. Deuces.